dying. Sometimes I don't know how you walked away. If money is what I liked, were the things I didn't know. Every morning, every night. Good morning, everybody. Just to tell you I'm thinking about you. Is my mic on? Yeah, it is. Okay. Good morning. Oh, that's wrong too. Can you see me and hear me? There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Linda. All right, let's get started. That's loud. Move back up. Will there be any surprises to prevent Trump from taking office on January 20th, 2025? Will there be any surprises? It's like being pulled in two directions, some kind of childish, not necessarily something to stop the process, because the Chariot was the first card. That's like things going forward. How is my mom's health other than her Alzheimer's and dementia? How is my mom's health? It feels, I want to word this as something that is not discovered yet, that is the source of either like energetic depletion or like maybe like Alzheimer's and dementia. It's like something else is functioning very slowly and there's a deeper reason is how I'd word that. Any messages for me? There's a need to kind of keep something close to the chest until it goes forward. So maybe kind of being careful or cautious with how much information you're giving to other people right now. Is the couple from Iowa buying the golf course? Couple. It feels like they want to, but something's kind of holding it back. Something still needs to mature. I feel like that's the intention here, and that's likely to happen, but there's something to overcome first. Been recommended for a clerical job at a university. Do you see me getting this job and starting in this role? Clerical job at a university. I feel like you're heading in the right direction for you right now. This feels kind of transitionary or temporary, but I do feel like there's a positive outcome here. Message from Sean. Message from Sean. There's a need for you to figure out what action needs to be taken here when it comes to self-expression. This can be either a conversation with someone or some form of like needing to let it out. It feels like there's a lot being held on to right now that's not necessarily in your favor. Why is this so fuzzy? Hold on a second. Nothing is working. Okay. We're just going to leave it a little fuzzy for now so I don't mess with this too much. Is it fuzzy still? Hopefully that helps. Okay. What's with my dreams of a soulmate? Message from them. What's with my dreams of a soulmate? I feel like the message is that there's more to go through before the two of you can really find one another, but it's all for a purpose and there's nothing to worry about. It'll all make sense in the end is the message. Message and a token. It's a plant with number 83. Plant. There's a need to allow things to grow slowly when it comes to another individual. It feels like this is someone new that's coming in. It almost feels like there's an opportunity for the balance to get thrown off or the balance to be restored. And it's all going to depend on patience and how things unfold. Any messages for me? I might have to fix this camera. This is driving me nuts. Any messages for me? Get closer. No, it's still fuzzy. There is this energy here of like needing to dissect in which area things are not moving forward and approach the scenario from a different perspective. It feels like there's a solution that is being held back because there's a shift in perspective needed of how you may be standing in your own way. It's like needing to address a limiting belief is how that feels. Catherine's life purpose. Catherine's life purpose. Something with communication and a community. It's like I am the spokesperson for, or I communicate one-on-one with others. It feels like this is something in planning. It's like you need me to help you plan for X, Y, or Z. Any messages from my mom? Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups. There's an opportunity to let yourself, almost like there's this one step forward, two steps back when it comes to some kind of change, because it's almost like you feel like after you make this change, it disconnects you from the version of yourself that connects you to the past or like someone. You're not leaving other people behind by choosing what's best for you is the message. Message and a song. Don't Forget Me by Dermont Kennedy. Lately, I've been living in a dream. The past feels like a better place to be. There's a need for you to focus forward right now, to free yourself from this mental prison of reliving something that did not go well. It's like keeping yourself in a lack mindset by reliving a part of the past that can't be changed, but was necessary for your growth. Message from my maternal biological grandfather. Am I on the right track? Am I on the right track? Specifically, you surrendered to whatever was keeping you in a pattern of self-sabotage when it comes to your mind. You've healed that trigger. So yes. Will YouTube approve my AdSense account and will comment to my lives, help my channel, the commitment to my lives, help my channel expand and grow? Yeah, I feel like the communication element is maybe what is lacking right now that will help bring things forward, like conversing one-on-one on the lives. I do feel like it's going to be approved, but it may take longer than expected. The King of Cups is a little bit slower moving. Can I trust C? This is more of like when it doesn't benefit me, I'll wait to tell you things, or I'll try to see if like I'm going to need to tell you. I feel like this person really looks out for themselves first. So there's a need to know that. Not that you can't trust them, but they heavily want to avoid almost like either public perception turning, or they want to avoid certain triggers. So I'd say take it with a grain of salt is how I'd word that. Message and a song. Invincible by MGK. Voices in the air. I hear them loud and clear, telling me to listen. It's almost like you're fighting against yourself when it comes to a message that was confirmed in a dream state. It's like you felt something, you had a dream that seemed to confirm it, and now you're like, okay, well, I must be reading too much into it because that can't be a thing. Or you got an intuitive message and then you got something that confirmed it and you're like battling with yourself. There's a need to trust that right now. Message and a token. A target with number 60. Target with number 60. It's being revealed to you where you may be blocking yourself from accepting yourself in some way. Almost like so you can get out of this unintentional self-sabotage when it comes to expansion. It's like you're seeing where you may be standing in your own way where you could be otherwise expanding. Message from Spirit, song or token. Unappreciated by Erica Mason. Sometimes we're not going to get the closure from the other person. We have to give it to ourselves. And there's a need to accept that just because someone doesn't have the ability to hear you doesn't mean that you aren't speaking truth. It just means that they're unwilling to accept it. Any messages for me? There's a need to not resist this death and rebirth that's coming in. It's like you've tried this door that doesn't have the light behind it, and now you need to walk across this space here, and it feels a little uncomfortable, but it brings you to this door that does have the light behind it. You know exactly what to do here. There's a need to not resist the death and rebirth. Oh, let me go to this list. Time frame for my refund from Anthem. Time frame for my refund. Feels like there's going to need to be patience here and maybe some back and forth. It's like maybe it gets delayed or denied or something, and you have to like go back and readdress it. 7 to 17 seems significant, maybe weeks or days, depending on what would fit that situation better. Message and song for the week. Oh, thank you. Message and song for the week. Have you ever seen The Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival? There's a wrapping up of a karmic lesson when you would deny yourself the space to feel. So it feels like there's something that's going to come up to evoke emotion so that you give yourself the space to feel. And as you do, you wrap up that cycle, if that makes sense. So if emotions come to the surface, don't run from them, because if you don't run from them, it's like you end that lesson and you get a new chapter type of thing. What lies ahead for the first quarter of 2025? 2025. Interesting. Okay, so either you're balancing out finances or you're getting your home life in order. It feels like you're overcoming wherever the biggest challenge is right now. You're starting to make progress in that area because you've rebalanced out something in your mind, and that balance is going to then manifest externally. So either home life or finances are getting some kind of improvement. Why am I having such a hard time fitting into this Discord server? How can I make more friends there? It's like needing to find people more in your niche, or if that's what you're already doing, there may kind of need to be like expanding out of your niche to then come back in. It's like after maybe you grow a group, then other people will be more willing to come into the group type of thing. It's like thinking outside of the box with the three of wands in reverse. And it's like making the decision to either go more into a specific niche, or if you're already very specific, branching out. It's like doing the opposite brings you like magnetism type energy, if that makes sense. How much time do we have with our mom before she passes? can we know about this? I feel like there's a longer time than you would expect, and I feel like there's something specific coming up that you're like, oh, I hope she's still going to be there, and I feel like she is going to be there. I would say something seems to, this is like a celebration. This is like lasting longer, and this is the mom. Feels like you have more time than you think, and it feels like whatever it is that you're worried about, it feels like she will be there. That's the energy that I'm getting. Full in reverse, but maybe not much longer after that. It does feel like you have longer than you, worst case scenario, think is how I want to word that. Advice for my sister Jamie from our mom and dad regarding how our eldest sister's husband treated James the other night. How they treated James the other night. Kind of giving, taking advantage of someone's position. So like you're someone being entrusted to do the right thing and trying to be sneaky behind the scenes and not do the right thing. But it's like this, I don't want to be judged about it type thing. Jamie's 5-year-old daughter the other night. How our eldest sister's husband. It kind of gives needing to draw out a public conversation. Like, let's just kind of all sit down and talk this out type of thing. Someone's not going to want to, but it feels necessary is how I'd word that. Someone's not going to want to, but it feels necessary. New member. Thank you. Oh no, where's that deck at? Where's my other deck at? Hold on. Oh, there it is. It's upside down. Okay. You've been pulling yourself out of dark places since you were a child. You were built for anything. This makes me think of the Hierophant steps. Feels like there's like this new spiritual knowledge coming in, and it's like you're learning who you are. One more here, and then back to the other list. Any messages for podcast, book, and a song? Force of Nature by B. Miller is the song. Something needed to be added to the foundation so that looking ahead, you can get the success that you want out of it. Force of Nature, messages for podcast or book. I don't know. Is there a way to bridge in some kind of science element to it or statistic element to it? It's like, it's kind of giving me the energy of like backing something up with facts to prove a point type thing. All right, let me go back to this list. Message and a song, Thrivin' by Ryan Carveo. Poof made it reality, used to be just fiction. Mama, look, I'm finally a magician. You're getting the green light on something that you've been waiting, like lying in wait for, almost like your spirit team has been kind of holding you back until you wrapped up this cycle and now you're ready to move forward is how this feels. It feels like wherever the stagnancy is, by the time January ends, that stagnancy will be no more. I'm leaning towards not having kids, and I'm afraid my parents are going to be heartbroken by this. Is there any advice? Give yourself time to make that final decision. You don't need to make a final decision right now. You can lean towards that for as long as you'd like. And you can give yourself the space to change your mind if you want, or never change your mind. I feel like you're feeling like you need to provide a final decision right now, and that's not the case. And it's like almost like that's making you resent having to make that decision. I feel like the message is just to give yourself time. The World in reverse is you're not completing a cycle. Seven of Pentacles is patience. Two of Wands is like, I can go this way and I can go that way and I can choose at any time to go a different way. So I feel like there's a need to know that you don't need to make a final decision right now, and it's things may change tomorrow or they may never change, and either way that's okay. What does 2025 look like for me and a song? Rookie of the Year by Chris Webby. And I have the star popping out. Rookie of the Year. Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands. It feels like you're having a lot of new beginnings. Rookie of the Year means you're going to be doing well at them. It feels like this is either a passion project or a new relationship that you're very passionate about. It feels like the white birds up here. It's like this is something that your spirit team has been preparing you for, and the new beginning of it is here. Message from A. Message from A. There's a need to not continue to resist putting down the burden that's not yours to carry. Five of Swords is like, look in the details. Look at how this is affecting you in order to put it down. Feels like there's a lot more energy going out in one direction to something that's a dead end for you, and it needs to be evaluated. Message, please. You're releasing some kind of creativity blockage here so that you can either work on a project or some kind of change in stability, home life, finances. Look for the creative solution in the area that you may have been held back from. Message from Shep. Message from Shep. There's a need to commit to what you know is right. It feels like there's something that's going to be challenged, almost like someone's going to try and get you to see it from their way, but you need to stick to what you know to be true type of thing. It feels like there's a need to commit to trusting your intuition right now. Message and a token. A snake. Number 39, a snake. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. It feels like there's going to be a situation where that's going to be important. It feels like by the first 3 months of 2025, between 3 weeks from now and then, it feels like you may not want to believe it when someone shows you who they are, but there's a need to kind of alleviate some potential tower up ahead. When will I find the right job for me, and what will I be doing? When will I find the right job? Feels similar to something that you've done in the past, but in a different way. So almost like if you reuse customer service skills because that's what you've done for a long time or something to that effect. Page of Wands in reverse, it feels like it's a little bit more held back. So like, let's say, for example, I was customer service one-on-one before. Now it's like on the phone type of thing. And so it's like a once removed version of something that you've done in the past. I feel like it's going to be a little bit before that manifests. Hold on one second. I'm going to fix this camera because it's driving me nuts. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Okay, that worked. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it worked. Okay, perfect. I don't know why that was doing that. Okay. Message from my spirit guides and a song. So Alive by the Goo Goo Dolls. There's a major wave of healing that seems to be coming in. It's almost like you took the path less traveled and now you get to start to take the path that's a little bit more aligned with progress. But there's a need to forgive yourself for the difficult lesson that you had to learn in the last chapter. What is DR's purpose in my life and a song? Can't Go Back Now by the Weepies. Feels like this person is presenting you with the opportunity to know that you can choose to carry a burden that's not yours, or you can choose the other option of focusing on yourself. I feel like the lesson is to know when enough is enough and when you need to choose yourself. What one word would Jackie love to say to me? What one word? What one word? Quest. Trust yourself on the quest is kind of how I would take that. Will M ever leave her abusive partner? I feel like it's going to be some time if that happens. This is like I'm making excuses for this person. I'm letting this person have their cake and eat it too, and I'm making excuses for their behavior. I almost feel like it's going to have to be the partners. Either they have to do something that it's like, okay, now I can't pretend that this isn't happening anymore, or they need to be the one to leave. I feel like it's going to be a while. Will I be able to complete my life purpose this lifetime? I feel like you're going to be completing the what's that? The leg of this purpose that you're sent here to. It's like your life purpose is building on itself. So it feels like with the Knight of Pentacles, you're continuing to build. With the Seven of Wands, you've completed. It's like you've defended the progress you've already made and continued to make more progress, but there's still more. Feels like you're completing what you were sent here to do, but there's still more to do type thing. How am I doing with my soul contract? How am I doing with my soul contract? It feels like there's this energy of right now you're wrapped up in this web that you need to untangle from yourself piece by piece when it comes to the wounds that were too difficult to face before. It feels like you're making a lot of progress here because you're shifting perspective. You're no longer blaming yourself for choices, but you're accepting the lessons as they presented themselves. Will 2025 improve financially for me? It feels like 2025 is presenting you with opportunity to get kind of like sick and tired of being sick and tired, or you're like, okay, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm finding some kind of solution. It feels like Four of Cups is reversed. So it's like, I'm not all the way defeated, but Five of Pentacles is still here. So you're making changes, but it doesn't feel like you're going to be like, wow, that really improved. But it feels like you're making choices that are setting you forward towards improvement. I'm going to go to this list. Any messages or insights for me from Spirit regarding my soul's life purpose? Right now, your confidence is being refined in your skill, your talent. There's a need to trust yourself to build something from the ground up, even if you've already started building. There's a need to kind of go back to the ground and make sure all the blocks are in the right pattern or something, because that is what rebuilds your confidence. It's like building from the ground up is the piece you need to build your confidence to maintain what it is you're working for. I kept dreaming and thinking of my soulmate. Is he coming into my life soon? I don't know who this person is. I can just feel him. I don't feel like as soon as you'd like, but I do feel like almost like your spirit team is trying to show you what to manifest or like what to call in and make sure that you know what you want so that when you see it, you'll know. I don't feel like as quickly as you'd like, though. Her heart is operating slowly. Would she want a stent at 85 and with her advanced Alzheimer's dementia? Okay, so her heart is operating slowly. So that's the slow part. Would she want a stent? Would she want a stent? That's the same card that came out, wasn't it? King of Swords is reversed. Would she want a stent? I feel like there's a need to get clarity on how this could potentially affect the mind, would be Alzheimer's and dementia. So I would say there's more clarity needed on what could potentially go wrong with that plus what's already going on, and a need to have like pre-planned solutions. Like if this starts to happen, we can do this. There's a need to kind of get the ducks in a row, it feels. Not that that's a bad decision, but it feels like there's more information needed is how I'd word that. More clarity, but it doesn't feel like clarity for her. It feels like clarity for those who are making decisions for her or caring for her. It's like if things go a different way quickly, we have this plan in place type of thing. What am I supposed to be focusing on? I feel directionless. What am I supposed to be focusing on? It's like your intuition is trying to tell you what needs to be left behind, and you're kind of trying to convince yourself out of it or talk like, okay, no, this can come with me, either a mindset, a person, an opportunity. It's like there's something that you're being called to leave it where it's at so that you can move forward. So it feels like right now, what should you be focusing on is getting really aligned with your intuition and your higher self. Less is more. Meditation, movement, grounding. My daughter peed on the floor in her room the other day. She said it was because she was too lazy to go to the bathroom. Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? It's like I waited too long type thing. I don't think it's necessarily too lazy. I think it's like I misjudged and then I stand up and what can I do now type of thing. I don't feel like it's something that's going to be made a habit of, but I think that there needs to be almost like more awareness of how long do I have until I have to get up type of thing. It feels like there's misjudgment. Any news from Hannah? Do we need to know about Hannah? It feels like there's this urgency to move forward or do things differently, but then there's this pause. Okay, how do I do things differently? I need to use my mind to unpack this. So I would say Hannah would be trying to figure out which next move is best, but hesitating until logic aligns with emotion. Message for the rest of Mercury retrograde, which is 7 days. This Mercury retrograde was about you releasing a karmic lesson of not giving yourself your love language. So what do you need from yourself for the rest of this? Do you need presence? Do you need I almost feel like physical touch, but for you it's like grounding or like being in touch with yourself. It's like giving yourself the love language that you were missing out on. Does my grandfather Alec have a message for me? Does my grandfather Alec? The path that you thought you were going to be on for longer is about to pivot, and that's okay. Trust yourself to make decisions that feel out of your comfort zone, but in alignment with expansion. Insight on my new crystals. Insight on my new crystals. Something to help free you from a limiting belief that was keeping you from a new opportunity or a new energy. Insight on your new crystals. They are symbolic of whatever limiting belief you released that was never yours to carry. So it's like I put this down and boom, these come into my life. It's symbolic. It's symbolic of you putting down the right thing. I'm going to do 2 more and then go back to the other list. What do I need to know about my relationship with DR and a song? Interesting song. Looking in the mirror, like what you gonna do? The only one stopping you right now is you. To the Sky by Henderson. It feels like this is an opportunity to really get to know yourself and that you don't need external validation here. I don't think you're seeking external validation, but I think that there's this energy of like, I'm waiting for something to prove what my intuition already knows, and I need to pour into myself to learn to trust myself more. It feels like that's what's in focus right now. Message for the week, token or a song. Stand Back Up by Sugarland. Go ahead and take your best shot. Let her rip. Give it all you've got. I'm laid out on the floor, but I've been here before. I may stumble. Yeah, I might fall. Only human, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Only human, aren't we all? It feels like there's a situation where you need to trust yourself to know that sometimes when we put things out, they're not picked up right away, but that doesn't mean we put out the wrong thing. It's like you put out the intention to help, and it may feel like it's not helpful, but it needs to cycle around. It's like almost like you put out a piece of wisdom and it needs to like go around to have a ripple effect type of thing. So there's a need to know that your intentions will manifest as intended, for lack of a better word, but there's a need for patience. So just because you're not seeing progress or clearing from what you intended to put out, it's cycling around. There's some kind of ripple effect that's happening here. Stand back up. There's a need to release. There's a need to say, okay, I did what I needed to do. Now I need to pull my energy back into me. Thank you for becoming a member. Tears are proof that emotions become physical. There's a need to let yourself feel and then release, not feel and then hold it and put yourself in a prison. There's a need to feel and release. Last one, and then back to the other list. I met someone this weekend. We talked about the neuroscience. Oh, perfect. I'm going to implement that now. Awesome. Yeah, the science element of it. It's kind of like you uncover something else about what you have to offer by bringing this part in. It's almost like, oh, I kind of have a unique expertise on this because of this in combination with that type of thing. Where am I? What do I need to know this week? Slow progress is still progress. There's a need to not rush, and there's a need to sit with some kind of decision. Almost like the energy of like sleep on it. Don't jump into it because you may shift perspective if you give it time. What would my subscribers like to see more of on my channel? What it took to nurture the seeds to align with like pronunciation of your message. Like, what is the buildup? What seeds were planted that led to this? Almost like build it from the ground up type thing. Kind of gives like teaching others how to build the foundation, something relating to throat chakra. What card in the deck am I most representative of? What card am I most representative of? Ace of Cups. Learning how to love your own light in the darkness is how I'd word that. My husband is on the autism spectrum and doesn't get thirsty. He nearly died of dehydration last year. He resists when I remind him to drink. How can I best help him? It needs to be his idea. Needs to be his idea. Needs to be his idea, but isn't something that I constantly think about. Almost like needing to come up with a reward system for himself that he would want to pour into. Like, almost like one of those jugs with like the time on it or something like that, and make it into like a self challenge. But like it kind of needs to be his idea. So maybe like presenting the idea and having him come up with what the parameters of the challenge would be, type of thing. It needs to be his idea in a way that doesn't feel burdensome, that he can commit to. Almost like a reward system that he makes with himself, type of thing. And I'm seeing those bottles with like the time on them, like making it into some kind of challenge almost. In your news in reverse, you mentioned something about Elon. Would it be the self-driving that will be coming out? Oh, shortly after the new year. Did I say some kind of invention that's been a long time coming? Will it be the self-driving? Oh, I would say that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, that might not be all of it, but I do feel like that's part of it. Clarity, seeing things. 9 of Pentacles, self-driving. 9 of Pentacles is like independence. So self-driving. I feel like that's part of it. Yes. The running across the roof footsteps are back. Any insight? So they went away for a bit. 4 of Wands, the home, the lovers, the devil in reverse. Making a choice to break out of some kind of cycle that wasn't serving. Running across the footsteps. It's like something in alignment with a choice that you made, even though it feels like it's a separate. How do I word this? the timing of it is in alignment with a choice that you've recently made in a symbolic way. It's like your spirit guides are like, oh, I can use this to be symbolic of this choice, if that makes sense. Will 2025 be a positive year for me? I feel like overall, yes, but it may feel like one step forward, one step back, two steps forward, two steps back. But it does feel like overall it's going to have a positive energy behind it. Like even in the hard times, I'm learning or growing or something to that effect. Message and a song. Days Like This by Dermont Kennedy. When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. Some kind of battle is coming to an end here. Almost like you learned the lesson to complete the cycle, and you're coming out of this season of a battle where you can finally breathe. It feels like the end is in sight, of like light at the end of the tunnel type energy. Will my daughter move out by April? I feel like September-ish is more likely. Will she get a proposal before then? Or wait, September? June to September, it feels more likely. I feel like the proposal is a little bit longer out than that. What is draining all of my energy? Carrying other people's burdens, but not seeing how you're carrying them. Almost like if someone else's projection is playing in your mind and you're cycling through it to try and disprove it, it doesn't mesh with your reality. So like, for example, you need to work really hard to make ends meet, and you're like accidentally manifesting overexertion as a form of disproving that projection, if that makes sense. Let's see if there's anyone I didn't get yet. 1 second. Does my father-in-law that passed have a message for me? It's like there's the message of you have the knowledge of exactly how to communicate your way through the barrier. So like something that requires communication, you're like, oh, I don't know if I should go there. It's like you're the authority in the situation, but you may be holding yourself back. So trust yourself when it comes to communication. That may feel uncomfortable, but necessary. How many guides do I have? I keep getting 3. How many guides do I have? 1 plus 2 is 3. 10 of Swords in reverse. 3 right now helping you with healing. Probably like, it's giving the energy of like 2 people that you know that passed and 1 guide that's helping them, like angel, if that makes sense. Helping you with healing. Not that that's what you have total, but that's what is helping you with whatever healing you're going through right now. Did my grandma turn on the lights in the house? Okay, grandma, geez. I'm going to go with yes. Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Swords. I'm offering you some kind of communication. Hello, it's me. Big yes. Oh, let me go to this list. Hold on. In my previous reading months ago, we learned that I wasn't ready for the witchcraft, but recently I'm feeling a big push jump in. Am I ready or misunderstanding the message? Am I ready or misunderstanding the message? I would read this as baby steps. Not that you're not ready, but I almost want to word this as take a step and watch how things change. Almost like there's a test of are you going to see some kind of change you don't like and continue going forward, or are you going to be like, okay, maybe try this differently? A test of your judgment call. Be very slow with building up the foundation of it. Don't run too fast is how I'd word that. How can I best clear my third eye? Giving passion project or learning something. It's like getting the wheel turning. So either working on some kind of passion project or bringing in some kind of new information. It's like I want to learn about psychology of human behavior. I feel like your third eye will open from pattern recognition. So if you can read about something or learn about something that you've experienced that affected you, it helps you reconnect with that visual element. So like for some reason, I feel like that's specific. Psychology of human behavior, understanding why people do what they do. Helps to get the wheel turning. Song for guidance to close out the year. Thank you. Song for guidance to close out the year. Suffice by NF. Hold on. Mediocre, that just won't suffice. Better than never. Ain't no cracking under pressure. The boy is clever. What's the end of that? Hold on. Where's that part? It's like, I don't need no introduction. Start my own. Can't no one touch it. Became what they said I couldn't. Mediocre, that won't cut it. There's this energy of like, and the mailman's here. You're getting delivered the opportunity to show yourself that you are who you say you are. And it feels like you're doing this by coming up with a creative solution, almost like I'm trying to find my place here. I'm trying to find where I fit here. I'm having trouble doing that. And I come up with a creative solution. And in doing that, I show myself what I'm made of, type of thing. Guidance would be allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone when you feel like you're getting the spiritual green light. Oh, thank you. Cool. I don't really want to do that one. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Oh, I keep forgetting about this deck and I keep wanting to use it. What do you need to focus on right now? Pluto, rebirth, transformation, destructive, death, unconscious. Something in your subconscious is trying to come to the surface so that you can deconstruct an idea of what's not possible. So a rebirth that offers you a different solution feels to be coming to the surface is how I'd word that. One more and then going back to the other list. And I'm also going to close super chats in a minute after this one as well. Message from random deck that's calling to. I'm actually going to use that same deck. What is in focus for you right now? What is in focus? Interesting. Capricorn energy. So December 22nd to January 19th. So that's soon. 22nd. That's not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Endurance, authority, accomplishment, determined, disciplined, prudent, ambitious. And the day is Saturday. So in between the 21st and the 22nd here, it's like you're making some kind of decision and you're meant to bring Capricorn energy to that decision. So very like, I'm sure that I know what's right here. I'm focused. I'm determined. I'm sticking with the same energy that I had when I started it, type of thing. Hold on. Let me close this. There we go. Okay. Where am I? Finances. I did that. Elon, I did that. Any message or guidance for my path, on my path? You're coming out of this season of stagnancy here where things are going to start to move a lot more quickly, but you're being guided to keep the pace and not get too ahead of yourself here. Almost like when you're cut from a bungee cord, you may want to like dash forward, but there's a need to kind of pace yourself and keep the speed a little bit more slow, even though there'll be progress forward, so that you can get clarity on how not to make the progress stop again. Almost like if you go slow enough, you'll see where you may have stood in your own way in the past and not repeat those same patterns now. I was told her BP would be lower on meds from stent. Oh, okay. So that's about, okay. So then how would that affect the other things going on, the Alzheimer's and dementia? It almost may be signaling like more intense care or treatment would be needed, because that would likely be the case where it's like, now I can't, like, I'm more likely to not remember certain injuries or certain things that I need to remember. I feel like it's much more intensive care that would be needed if that were to happen because of the other factors. Oh no, why did this just move? Hold on. Oops. What does this next year look like for me? What does this next year look like for me? It's like I try to show up in a way that everyone can win, and then I realize that there's a need to take back my power, and midway through the year I start showing up more bold, and it works out in my favor. So almost like this energy of like holding back, what's that called? When you pull it back to launch it. What is that called? I can't think of that right now. When you pull it back to launch it, that's kind of the energy. I'm holding back, I'm pulling back, and then I'm launching midway through the year. One second. Will a wrong at my job be righted by my firm, or will I leave? Will it be righted? Will you leave? You. I feel like you're going to be disappointed. It's almost like they try to put a Band-Aid on a dam that's about to burst open. So it's like, not really the solution I was hoping for. I do feel like you're going to give them time to try and see if it can be righted better, but I don't think that they're going to write it better, because this is about you leaping forward and being disappointed. I feel like it's going to be a longer unfolding than you may think, because there's like, it's not A or B, it's like option C, where it's like, we try to fix it, that's not good enough, and you just kind of end up being like, you know what, I'm done playing these games, is how that feels. Am I going to do well on Whatnot? Should I co-host with my daughter, or should we do our own shows? Am I going to do well? Are you going to do well? Yes. It feels like there is either like a lot of worry or a lot of anxiety. It's almost like I'm doing well, but I'm still in my head, but I'm still doing well, but I'm still in my head. So almost like you do well, but you don't get to enjoy it as fully as you could if you could find a way to kind of get yourself out of your head, type of thing. Should we do it together or our own? I feel like your own. Maybe your own gives you the opportunity to each do your own and then do one together. So it like gives you an extra piece type of thing. Will the situation with my daughter's 11-year-old son get better soon? She is almost frozen in fear. We are always waiting for the next explosive outburst. Could there be something? Hold on. She is almost frozen in fear. We are always waiting for the next explosive outburst. He's in therapy. Could there be a different kind of therapy that could be used in combination with what's already being done? Almost like talk therapy is one thing, but what would be another? What would be like another type of therapy? Maybe like sensory type therapy, or like, I don't know. It feels like there's something else needed in combination, not to stop what you're already doing, but to bring in something else. Because it's almost like I address this way, so this gets lighter, but now this seems heavier because it's not also going down. So there's a need to address almost like a different group of the symptoms. Like we're addressing the emotions, now we need to address the sensory or something like that. It feels like there's something else that's needed in order to get the progress that you want. Am I annoying my guides? I feel like they face palm a lot lately. North of Richmond by Chris Webby. That makes me think not face palming you. It's like they're face palming your realization of a face palm. Like you're like, oh my gosh, not again. And they're like, yep, not again, type of thing. Yeah, Two of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. No, they're committed to helping you. You're picking up on your subconscious frustration with things that are going on, and you're reading it as their frustration with you, but it's really you reading your frustration that you may not be seeing, type of thing. The tougher they made it for us, the tougher we got. They wanted me to point out that line. Hold on one second. Message that symbolizes my love language that will help me. I'm going to use this deck. So I have Sagittarius energy. So November 22nd to December 21st. I feel like this is ambitious, this is independent, this is philosophical, adaptable, energetic, free-spirited, Wheel of Fortune, and Temperance. So by December 22nd, which would be next Saturday, it's like you can get the ball turning in your favor if you can focus on some kind of like reignition of the spark. What did I learn that I enjoy, and how can I bring that into my life, type of thing. Should I change careers? Should I change careers? I feel like there's a need to make sure that you have everything lined up first. So this to me isn't just I find a new job. This is I find a new job and I get through the trial period. So you may have to kind of run yourself a little thin energy wise until it gets started. I do feel like there's something better for you, but there's this need to like make sure that everything's set before losing job security. Go to this list. What do I need to leave behind that I'm trying to take with me? What do I need to leave behind? This way or that way? Two of Pentacles, this way or that way, balancing out. Three of Pentacles in reverse, the World in reverse. This can either be the way that you're viewing yourself based off of someone else's projection, or this could be Three of Pentacles in reverse, a literal person that needs to be left behind. The World's in reverse. So this is what's causing you to not complete that cycle. And this is what Two of Pentacles would bring things back into balance. It's like you need to choose the path less traveled when it comes to either forcing yourself to view yourself differently than how that person saw you, or leaving that person behind if they're still around. Are the live stream opening up my channeling abilities, and would a members live group be successful in 2025? Stepping outside of your comfort zone when it comes to communicating to build your community. I feel like it would help. Are they opening up your channeling abilities? I feel like it's not necessarily the lives, it's getting out of your comfort zone and being seen. It's like, you're like, okay, look, I'm willing to be seen in a more vulnerable way. And that's what's opening up your channeling. I do feel like that would help. I'm almost wondering if you could do like I think you have to have a certain amount of members to give away the free memberships or something like that, but almost like if you could do something where people could like win them or something to get the interest there that it's available. Can you ask my mom's higher self if she would want the stent? We know the risks, just don't know what she would want. Yes. One second. Where's that deck at? Where is that deck at? There it is. Okay. So would she want it? Would she want the stent? Training wheels in reverse. Assistance extras in reverse. 3 years, months, or days. 3 years, months, or days. We have Hierophant reverse, Page of Wands reverse, Eight of Cups reverse. Is there something else you could try first to see if it buys time? I do feel like that is where it's heading, but it's almost like, can we get something in place before taking that step that would make the potential symptoms less impactful? I don't know what that would look like exactly. I don't know enough about it, but it feels like it's going in that direction, but like buying time to find a way to make it easier in the long run, knowing that it's going to affect the other symptoms, or the other issues are going to affect the symptoms of it. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like my new coworker Jay has been flirting with me. Is she attracted to me? What are Jay's feelings? It's kind of giving, I want to be like you. I see something in you that I would like to emulate, and I'm trying to figure out how you're like that so I can be like that too. Doesn't necessarily feel romantic. It feels more like I'm trying to embody that part of your energy. 2 more here and then back to the other list. Who turned the Christmas lights to blue last night? Only the dog and I at home at that time. Someone that you'd want to see that is not in the home, that would bring you happiness and joy. 10 of Cups in reverse feels like your husband. What would be symbolic of the blue color from the early stages of your relationship with your husband? And I kid you not, Love Wins just started playing. Love Wins. Okay, so something about the color blue, maybe a suit color, maybe a flower color, something like that. It's like I'm trying to bring up that specific memory. Mom, dad, and baby brother are all sad. Oh, perfect. Love that. Yeah, I said something that you're passionate about or something, right? It's like that's the golden ticket to get you back into alignment here. Almost like you're focusing on a way to creatively transmute some kind of blockage. Like I'm making something out of what I learned from this period of frustration type of thing. Yeah, we can do that. Live reading, ask questions in real time. Yeah. Please email me. I know I said to email you back about the other thing as well. But email me. Medication to strengthen her heart is alternative. That may be what that is. Like getting that in place to get that a little stronger before doing that next move type of thing. Hard to explain. Things are going on in my house. Did I pick up a ghost from a recent location that I visited? I wouldn't rule that out. Hangman in reverse is like, oop, I'm coming with you. Kind of giving I come in peace though. Crow. It feels temporary, but I do feel like you're kind of reading that accurately. Oh no, why does this move like this? Should I change careers? I did that. Does Spirit have any messages regarding my dad's overall health and well-being? Overall health and well-being. There's going to be clarity on some kind of solution to get things moving forward or get things improving. It's always darkest before the dawn. It feels like right now there's this waiting for answers and there's clarity coming in. It feels like there is some kind of change that's going to be needed, but there's also progress. Message for my husband the next few months. Message for my husband. There's a need to look before you leap. Pause before taking action. In the pause, the right action will reveal itself or clarification of the chosen answer. It's giving there may be situations where sleeping on it is the best answer before jumping into something. Who watches over me? Who watches over me? Two people who offer you protection. This kind of feels like if you have, I don't know why I'm getting this, but like, let's say you have a grandma you were close to and her spouse that you weren't close to would be like if they were together type of thing. It feels like that kind of dynamic. Like you were close to one person and there's a second person with that person and there's two of them. It's like we're your protection. We show you signs of when to not continue down a path that's not for you. Where am I? I keep seeing in random order are sticking with me the Fool song. I Am Not Okay by Jelly Roll. 5 of Swords, the Hermit. Song Suffice. 5 of Swords, the Hermit. I am not okay. The Fool. I am not okay. 5 of Swords, the Hermit. Taking action. Suffice. I don't need no introduction. Your inner child wound. A sign of an impending inner child wound or inner teen wound trigger so that if you see it coming or know it's coming, that you aren't in a reactive energy and you can respond, not react to it. Almost like something that really would have triggered you in the past. You're going to show yourself you're healing because it's not going to be that way this time. Are there any messages from my ex, Steven? Any messages? Almost like if you look back at that relationship, there's like a token that helps a bigger picture piece of something make sense when it comes to moving forward. The lesson that you learned from that time period of your life applies to this time period of your life when it comes to moving forward. And the song is Redemption by Dermont Kennedy. Grandpa Fred is one of my guys, and I think Archangel Michael. Who is the other one? I feel like it's my mother-in-law. Who is the other one? I feel like mother-in-law is not the one that I'm referring to in this group of 3. Who is it then? 9 of Pentacles. Someone connected to you, not spouse. This is like a connection through you. So it wouldn't be mother-in-law. It would be someone on your line. My husband's race car as his racing fire. Oh, okay. So there's the blue. My husband's race car. So turning on the lights to bring up a specific memory. The outfit of my race car. The outfit of my race car. Queen of Wands, you. King of Pentacles, him. I'm referencing this memory to help you with your confidence in a certain decision. Something about this memory plus a decision you recently made. I'm handing you the memory to help you know that you made the right decision. Hanged Man in reverse. You had the right perspective. I'm offering you this as a perspective shift so that you see you made the right decision. Message from my dad. Message from my dad. There's something he's trying to help you see, and he's going to keep trying to help you see it until you understand it. It's kind of giving the writing on the wall. Approaching the situation from a different perspective. It feels like there's some kind of pattern that's repeating right now that he's trying to bring your attention to so you can break the pattern, is how I'd word that. Should I have a courageous conversation with Anne? IR distance myself. Should I have to distance myself? Conversation. Pulling back, not ending, but needing to have a conversation. I would say be mindful of not making it seem like this is like a final end all be all, but I feel like there is a need to have a conversation about pulling your energy back and making it known that that's happening. Any messages from my guides? Any messages from my guides? It feels like there's some kind of situation where it's kind of giving like everything needs to go up in flames so that you can rebuild, is how this feels. The only way out is through, but it's like through the destruction so that you're the one that rebuilds it. It feels like you have all the tools to do this rebuilding. So there's a need to trust yourself. Raise Hell by Ryan Oakes. You're using the light of the hell that you went through to light the way of the new beginning. So there's something in that time period that's meant to help you now. Advice to help out with my mom. What advice to help out with your mom? kind of giving second opinion, like needing to figure out what the best option is by someone who's not as emotionally invested, like needing an outside looking in perspective instead of an inside looking out perspective. It feels like there's a second opinion or like a specialized opinion, like a specialist of some kind, or a second opinion from an already gone to specialist of some kind. Almost like there's a need to help whoever's making the decisions to make a decision from a logistical instead of a heart over head option. Should we go see Dad over the Christmas holiday? Should we go see Dad? I feel like there's some tension or something, or maybe some I don't know, there's like something that wants to be avoided, but I feel like you should go see. This is like release whatever that is that's causing this to be a question. I feel like the answer is yes. I have been a lot of neck pain and stiffness with little to no relief. What is causing this? What is causing this? A lot of neck pain and stiffness. It's kind of giving like this, like constantly like this. I feel like this is something that's passed on, almost like that's where you store your stress. I don't know if that would be like chiropractor, acupuncture, massage. It's like needing to get the energy moving. It feels like that's kind of where subconsciously I'm trying to cut off flow from my head to my heart or something like that. I'm holding stress in that way as a barrier, if that makes sense. I feel like it's literally needing to get the energy moving in that area, because there's you may throughout the day catch yourself with your shoulders at your ears type of thing. It feels like that's where it's coming from. It doesn't feel like it's like something in the back or something in the shoulder. It feels like it's like literally there's like this holding pattern that's causing like a muscle spasm type of thing is how that feels. Oh, you were thinking of selling the race car. Interesting. Interesting. So he referenced the race car. What would he tell you about selling the race car? It's up to you. When you feel like you're ready, do it. If you don't feel like you're ready yet, don't do it. Trust yourself to make that decision. I do feel like there is this more of a push to do it than to not do it, but like when you're ready. Like not rushing yourself to do it. Is Tesla asking to see me? Is Tesla asking to see me? I feel like this is like a I want to, but I don't know how to ask, is how I'd say this. Or I'm hinting at it. So maybe indirectly, or I'm hesitating. Almost like I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that type of thing, like that person. Is there an ascendant master guiding me or archangel? It's like there's both. Almost like one helps the other help you, and it's been this way for a long time. See, there's a dog on that card, the cat on that card. This is like an elder. This is like a child. It feels like there's like almost like an angel line that's associated with your family in some way. It's like we're like the mascots of this family type of thing is the energy I'm getting. Is my paternal grandmother and maternal grandfather, paternal grandmother and maternal grandfather? Yes, you're understanding that correctly. I'm being drawn to this. It's like there's something that ties them together, or maybe they're saying you are the one that ties them together, or there's like something like because you're saying paternal and maternal, but there's something that bridges them together more so than a typical paternal maternal. It's like there's a commonality there of some sort. That's how they're confirming us. There's like a commonality that's not common. I don't know how to word that differently. Is the newest civil suit claim that Jay-Z and Diddy R-word a 13-year-old girl in 2000s true? So many new claims coming out, especially regarding him having the secret kids. Is that claim with the 13-year-old girl true? Coming forward with communication about the battle that I fought and how I wasn't able to get help before. I would say yes. I would say yes. Is my relationship with CF going to last? What can we know about you and CF? This feels like learning a very specific karmic lesson. It could always be that you learn the lesson, you heal, and then you grow together. But this feels more like we learn the lesson and then we start to realize that we want different things, is how I'd word that. Is my gran one of my guides? Since you were young, she's been trying to be a source of motivation for you. And helping you believe in yourself, helping you see what you have that you could use. I feel like she would call herself the solution seeker, helping you to be the solution seeker. So yes. Will I enjoy returning to work? Will I enjoy returning to work? You're not going to hate it, but I feel like there's going to be some like, okay, didn't think I'd miss being bored, or didn't think I'd miss that, or there's some of that, but it doesn't feel like you're going to hate it. Almost like needing to get used to the flow of it again. I'm going to do about 5 more and then I'm going to hop off. How will 2025 be for me? How will 2025 be for me? Learning where the imbalances are and figuring out what action to take to correct the imbalance. So I feel like I'd word this as, how will 2025 be for me? You're facing what you may have avoided facing in 2024, so you can figure out what actions need to be taken. This was the year of the pause. Next year is the year of the action because you're tired of the pause. Why have I been constantly sick? Insight to getting in the best health. Something unseen in the foundation that needs to be changed so that your body can communicate better with itself. It's kind of feeling like I need to take care of like nutrition, hydration, movement so that my immune system boosts. It's like this slow withering away of my immune system because of something that doesn't seem like a big issue becoming an issue. For some reason, I kind of feel I'm getting the reference of like one of those, what is that called? Crap. Like where they do the sensitivity testing, like almost like something, an unknown irritant. So like a sensitivity of food or environment to see what needs to be changed so that it doesn't slowly chip away at immune system because the immune system's battling that instead of the other things that are finding their way through, if that makes sense. Will I find a job soon? Will I find a job soon? I feel like there's a need to either change what you're applying for or change the location or do like follow up if you're not doing that. There's action needed so that this you find the way out of this battle. It's all depending on your action. So there's something needing to be done differently to make it happen sooner. Right now, I don't feel like it's going to be as soon as you'd like. 5 feels significant, so 5 weeks, 5 months feels more like 5 months. Oh, it's been tough getting my immune system back since chemo. I'll try that sensitivity test. Yeah, maybe that's it. It's like something that your body was fine with before chemo. Now your body's like, I don't really like that that much. So your body's trying to fight that thing and it's letting the other things come through, if that makes sense. Will any part of my mother's personality come back? Will any part of my mother's personality come back? You're going to see her start to make choices that the old version of her would make. So, like, I have the opportunity to make a joke or stay silent. Maybe I don't come with the same oomph that my jokes used to come with, but you're going to start to see that, like, I'm starting to make the choices that show you that I'm starting to, like, a little bit feel like myself again, but it doesn't feel like I'm coming with the same energy. I'm just coming with similar choices, if that makes sense. So I guess I'd say partially. I'm going to do 2 more and then hop off. I will be on later in the week. And I am opening some spots for readings today, but not a lot because I have a project that I'm working on that I have a deadline for. So not a lot of spots, but I'm opening them at 12 Eastern time. Is the reason I am unable to work so I can work on my spirituality. Why are you unable to work? High Priestess is reversed with 9 of Cups, so I do feel like that's a major part of the focus. 8 of Cups is reversed though, so it's like there's something else being wrapped up. There's something else being wrapped up, and it's also affording you time to work on your spirituality. I don't think that's the reason for it, but I feel like there's a bigger lesson to be learned as well. But it's affording you the time to work on your spirituality, is how I'd word that. Working on your spirituality is using the time wisely that it's taking to wrap up something. Is the honey given to me helping my gut? Is the honey helping my gut? It's helping your body communicate where the problem is. So maybe it's like, oh, okay, I feel better after doing this. Let me figure out why I don't feel better when I don't do that. I don't know. It's like you're helping your gut to communicate what changes are needed. So I'm saying that to say it almost may bring up another issue. Like you may start to be like, okay, now I have stiffness here or soreness here. That's like because your body communicating what the issue is, not because it's a new issue. So yes, but there may be some like unwanted symptoms coming to the surface as it makes progress for you, if that makes sense. All right, everyone, I have to hop off. I will be on later in the week. Some spots will be opening in about 20 minutes. And then if I finish them, I will open more later, but I have to work on something project-wise. Thank you to my mods for being here. And I think that what got dropped off is Sacred Woundings deck, so I will more than likely have that back in stock today as well. Talk to you all soon. Thank you for being here.